Hello campers, this is the Suburban Camper, and in this video I will share 6 mostly free tools I utilize to find great campsites. I have touched upon these tools in some of my videos, so I want to take a deeper dive into each of them and share some tips and tricks. Here are the tools I will cover in this video. Google Maps, management unit websites such as National Forest Service, Google Earth, Avenza Maps, a phone, and good old-fashioned paper maps. And don't forget, I will be sharing a great camping spot during this video. It will be a quick slide featuring a photograph, 3-word description, and the coordinates, so be on the lookout for that. Okay, I will start with the tool I typically start with, and that is Google Maps. When I'm looking for a place to explore, I use a bit of a dartboard approach. I will just pull up Google Maps, zoom out, and then zoom in on an area I'm interested in. Here is an area I have not visited. Next, I will look for points of interest such as a mountain peak, river, lake, campground, wilderness area, etc. I see there is a wilderness area and a mountain peak in this area. Let's click on the wilderness area. Wow, that's beautiful. This is somewhere I want to visit. Now I will look for roads leading into the area and see how close they can get me to the points of interest. Now, this is a wilderness area, so the roads will only get me up to the boundary, and that is fine. This road looks like it goes deep into the area, and it is a labeled forest road. Let's switch to satellite view and zoom in to assess terrain, road quality, and to find additional points of interest and potential campsites. It looks like it goes through a burned out area. The road does not look that great, and I'm not seeing anything of interest, so I will note this creek name and move on. I can see over here we have a trailhead, and this road looks very well defined. I will right click on the end of this road and capture the coordinates for future reference. Now let's see what we can find out about this trail. There is not any info in Google Maps, so let's move on to the next tool, which is the management unit website. We know from this map this area is in a national forest, so let's visit their website. Google has made that easy, so I will just click on this link. On the home page, you can see the mountain and the wilderness area we were just looking at are featured, so it is safe to say those are the main highlights of this national forest. Let's check out the trail. Alright, here it is. Sounds interesting. I will note the coordinates. I see the road there on the map. Let's see what it says about camping here. This is good info. It says dispersed camping. Oh, this is great. They allow dispersed camping right at the trailhead. This is a place we may want to camp. Now, speaking of dispersed camping, that leads us to our next tool, which is Avenza Maps. It is a free app for utilizing geolocatable maps. There are both free maps and paid maps available for download, but one of the most useful types of maps are always free, which are the National Forest Motor Vehicle Use Maps. These are the official maps for designating all roads and trails available for public motorized travel. They also serve another great purpose, which is to identify the roads where dispersed camping is allowed. These dots mean you can camp alongside that section of road for free. Let's see if we can find the motor vehicle use map for this national forest. I don't see any coming up in my search. Let's go back to the website and see what they have. Okay, I see they are working on it, but don't yet have it available. That's fine. Let's go back and see what other maps are available. Here is one on the wilderness area. Let's check the extent it covers. That's good. It covers the area we are interested in. I have already downloaded this map, but if I had not, that would be the next step. Also, please note this was not a free map. It cost $4.99. Now, even though this national forest does not have the map indicating dispersed camping areas, we know they do have at least one designated dispersed camping site, so let's see if they have others. And they do. Here's the one we already checked out, so let's check out the other two. It sounds okay. Let's see where it is. It's on the western side of the national forest, not the area we are interested in. And the other one is also not really close to the area we want to camp. Let's revisit our trailhead site on Google Maps. There's plenty of space there, and it looks like a nice meadow over here. The website mentioned access to a scenic basin, but what I really want is access to views of the mountains. So let's utilize our next tool to explore further, and that is Google Earth. I will enter the coordinates and fly to our potential trailhead camping spot. Here's the basin you can access via the trail. It looks interesting, but as you can see, when you're in a basin, you're not going to have views of the mountains, and the info on the trail did not mention views, so let's explore a bit more. I will zoom out and move over towards the mountain. Oh wow, look at this area over here. Those shadows tell me that is some spectacular geography. Look at this lake down there. I will note its name. And look over here. There's a road that gets you right up to this ridge line. Let's change the perspective. The road looks great, and I see a trail along the ridge. This perspective tells me the mountain views up here are amazing. Let's see how close we can camp to this, but first let's note the coordinates at the end of this road. They're listed in the bottom right corner and will track with the mouse pointer. If you are logged in under your Google account, you can add a place mark. I will pull back and follow the road for a bit. Well, there's a campground right there. Let's check it out. Looks like a good dispersed site. I will note it. I will go back to Avenza Maps and enter the coordinates for the end of the road. Great news. There are 2 trailheads there, and look at that elevation. It's almost 8,000 feet. Let's mark this spot on the map by clicking on this pin over here. Let's call it Ridgeline. I will follow the road back down to look for more campsites. I don't see the one that showed up on Google Earth, but I see the spring it was named after. I will keep following the road. Looks like the closest campground is this one. I will go back to the Forest Service website to get info on the 2 campsite options I found. Here is the one that showed up on the Avenza map. It says it's a great base for exploring the area, so it is definitely a good option. But I prefer dispersed camping, and the other site I found on Google Earth is closer to the trailhead, but I'm not finding any info on it. So let's use our next tool, the phone. Now I realize a phone costs money, but once you pay for a plan, aren't the calls free? Well, technically I suppose there is a nominal fee once you cost average it all out. Anyway, I will call the Ranger District office and find out more info on the other campsite. They were not familiar with the campsite name and said it is probably an old designated dispersed site, and if you follow the dispersed camping rules, you can camp there, along with any other previously utilized sites. Well, now I know where I am camping. Let's mark it on the Avenza map. Now I always have at least one backup campsite, so I will use the developed campsite for that purpose. Let's check the distance from that campground to the trailhead. We will see if Google Maps can find a route, and it can. It is about 9 miles and looks like we should plan on a half an hour. Now let's check our first choice spot, which happens to show up on Google Maps, and it is only about 2 miles to the trailhead. Perfect. Now it is time to navigate our complete routes. I will use Google Maps and start with getting to the developed campground even though it is the backup. The reason is it's not that far out of the way, and I will be able to check it out and know how to get back to it if needed. I will zoom out and look for the nearest town on a major highway and use it as a starting point. It says it is 20 miles and it will utilize 2 forest roads to get us there. Now let's triple check that. First, with the Avenza map, it does not have the town on the map, but I see the primary and secondary forest roads Google Maps is choosing, and it all matches up. I will also check it with our next tool, a paper map. My main source of paper maps are the Delorme State Atlas books, which are not free, but worth every penny. The books cover entire states, and the maps have a good level of detail with a focus on recreational activities. I can see the route also matches up, so we are good to go on the route to the campground. The reason I triple check routes is I have found Google Maps to be unreliable in remote areas, and my experience tells me different sources will have different names for roads and they may not always match up with what you see on the ground. I recommend at least one of your navigation info sources is a paper map with as much detail as possible in case your devices are unavailable. Also, if you will be hiking or backpacking, you should download a quadrangle topo map which provides the highest level of detail. These are yet another free resource which you can download and then upload to Avenza Maps. Here is the link on our National Forest website, and here's the site where you can type in the National Forest name and then zoom in on the dot and pick a quadrangle and then download the geolocatable PDF. Or better yet, enter coordinates or copy and paste them from Google Maps and it will take you right to that map. Hey, that looked like a great place to camp. And yet another map option is to download an offline Google map of the area you will be visiting. This feature is only available on mobile devices. Just locate the area you want to download, select the menu, then Offline Maps, choose Select Your Own Map, zoom in or out to highlight the area you want to download, and then select Download. You can edit the name of the map with this menu over on the right side. You can access and utilize the maps without a cellular connection. Just select the menu icon, then Offline Maps, and choose your map. Please note the terrain view can be downloaded and I recommend that view. Now I think we have enough maps. So all that is left to do is to go see this place. I can't wait to see the views from that ridge, and I also think hiking to the lake below the ridge will be amazing. I will be featuring this area along with 2 other national forests in an upcoming video, so be on the lookout for that. Just one final point, be sure to know before you go. You can utilize the management unit's website to find out more information on fees, seasonal operations, fire danger, and closures. So there you have it. Those are the mostly free tools I utilize to find great campsites. I hope they help you find great places to camp. If you learned something from this video, please subscribe, and if you want to learn more about how to camp just about anywhere and be prepared for anything, keep watching this channel and check out my website, suburbancamping.com. Thank you very much.